Now let's switch it from the NBA to the NFL for like two more Mount Rushmores.
Oh, this is a tough one. All
Let,
right, what are we going for?
let's start with. We'll make it easy. We'll start with New England Patriots.
Oh my God, of course.
Guaranteed Tom Brady.
I'm not arguing with that. Yeah, I'm just sitting here. Sorry. I'm not arguing with that.
Tom Brady, Julian Edelman.
I was gonna say Edelman.
Gronk.
I'd put Gronk before I'd put Edelman.
I see that argument. Well, I put both. I think I agree with you. I put both.
Okay.
But that fourth one,
It's always bad when I go to the phone.
I couldn't think of a fourth, honestly.
I honestly couldn't either.
You got to go old school.
You have to, honestly.
John Hanna. John Hanna is an offensive lineman, which also makes it even harder. John Hanna played John Hanna played for the Patriots for 13 years from 73 to 85. John Hanna is a Pro Bowler from 78 to 85. John Hanna spent his entire career with the Patriots. Oh, and by the way, John Hanna is also in Canton, has a Pro Football Hall of Famer. So John Hanna is one of them, and ironically, the other guy named John for me, who I believe is also in the Hall of Fame. But let me check. No, actually, I take that back. Yeah, never mind. I'll pass. I'll pass on John Stevens. John Stevens was with the Patriots for a long while. You got to remember too, the Patriots made the Super Bowl in 86, 85, and they wouldn't be a bad team except they played the Bears, and the Bears defense that year was just ungodly. Another guy you could consider for the Patriots, Mount Rushmore, is Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, I wanted to say him too.
The thing about Tom Brady is, and please don't come after me with Brady hate. By the way, my Twitter handle is the Sports Buffet, just in case you want to come after me. But
he wants the smoke.
No, I really don't, honestly. But Tom Brady hit the Patriots because Drew Bledsoe got hurt.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady was just so good for that system and everything that Tom Brady just never left the role. So I brought up Drew Bledsoe, by the way, while you were powdering. It was Tom Brady.
All right, pretty boy.
Tom Brady, Gronk, and John Hanna for me are three easy ones, obvious. Also, you got to remember, too, I don't know if you're brave enough to do this, but Adam Vinatieri was really good for the Patriots, too. This is why he likes me as a friend, because I have these like names that just come out of my head.
Told you, this man knows his stuff when it comes to sports. Anytime we do a sports episode, he's got to be here.
And honestly, most of the stuff that, unless it's stat related, like I'm naming some of these names, and this is what makes me sick. By the way, kids, don't be like me out there. This is what makes me
exactly
ill,
like him. Don't listen to him
because I can name these people off my head. And like, are you familiar with the Immaculate Grid?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's a game. I'd recommend everybody to play it, by the way. 9 boxes, you match up people. But like people are like, why did you choose that person? I'm like, because I collected cards in the 80s and 90s. That's what I remember. If you ask me to name like 5 people now that play like in the NBA, I can get it. But I mean, like, if you ask me to name 5 people that play on one team, nope.
Yeah.
I watched Hubie Brown's last game when he was doing the Bucks and at Sixers. And I'm like, Bobby Portis, I've heard of him. I didn't know he played for the Bucks. It's stuff like that that gets me nowadays. But like, if you ask me, like, I mean, how many people are naming Big Dog? So I digress. I can't put Edelman on there just for my own health and wellness. But like, and then there are a lot of guys too from that defense with the Patriots when they were good. Teddy Bruschi.
I was just about to say
Seymour.
Richard Seymour. Yep.
Ty Law. I mean,
That's the thing. Like,
Rodney Harrison was there for a bit.
I forgot. I knew I was forgetting somebody. I forgot about Rodney. I really did.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Brady, Gronk, John Hanna. Oh, gosh, I mean, Patriots dynasty. I don't know how good it is without Vinatieri.
I don't know how good it is without Bill Belichick.
Well,
and he won't even a player. But I think you got to include him in the Mount Rushmore thing.
You told me I couldn't do that.
I did, didn't I?
Now, unless we're going off of coaches, then we got ourselves a conversation.
If you do any kind of coach, you have to do it for every team, like across the board.
Yeah, I can't. So going off what you said,
Of course.
Going off what you said, I cannot put Bill. We'll do that Mount Rushmore at a later date. But yeah, so
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's just the Patriots.
Just the Patriots.
Let's look at your Baltimore Ravens.
I knew you were going to do it.
One name for sure comes to mind: Ray Lewis.
correct. Now we're only doing we're doing it from when they started as the Ravens. We're not doing any of that pre-Brown stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Ravens tripped me up, by the way, because when I'm playing on the grid, I think there are people that played for the Ravens and they didn't. I've got number 2, easy.
Yeah.
Jamal Lewis.
Ooh.
There's another Ray that you could argue is on that list. Ray Rice.
Jeez, and that's a touchy one too.
But yeah, well, I'm not leaving him off for that reason. But you know,
of course.
Do you put Joe Flacco on there?
No. I will put these few on it: Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Ray
Ed
Rice.
Reed.
Now the fourth one, that's what's stormy. I ain't gonna lie.
See, Flacco did win a Super Bowl with y'all.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis's last year against the 49ers.
you forgot Terrell Suggs, by the way, too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put them on there. Just with
Terrell
that's
Suggs.
Terrell.
This one's. I think if they win a ring in Baltimore, and that's a big ass if, because they seem to struggle for some reason. Lamar could potentially be in the conversation to be on that Mount Rushmore, but he's got to prove that he can be a winner. He hasn't really proved that, in my opinion, when it comes to playoff time.
Well, do you put Josh Allen on the Bills Mount Rushmore then for the same reason?
No. I honestly, I don't. Some people will because he's that franchise QB.
Right.
But unless you win, and he seems to have a tendency to lose to every freaking time they play Mahomes. He can't beat Mahomes when it matters.
I think you got to put Terrell Suggs on there. I did look at numbers.
Yeah.
FYI, I'm going to look at the Ravens guy for a minute. You know, Ray Lewis is 4th in sacks for his career with the Ravens. You know who the other 3 are?
Whoa.
This is kind of trivia. Sorry, didn't mean to put you on the spot, but this is what I do.
I like it. I like it.
Terrell Suggs is number 1, so you got 2 more. And I wouldn't dare think about putting either of these guys on the Mount Rushmore if it were me.
That makes it even better.
Well, they're not bad, but I mean, Mount Rushmore is, like Mount Rushmore is reserved for 4 people. It's not reserved for the 6, 7, and 8.
I mean, you can have your cute little honorable mentions.
Right. Reagan didn't go to South Dakota or North Dakota and carve on the Mount Rushmore and be like, Roosevelt, you're off. Gotta get myself on here.
Jeez.
Well, I'm going to tell you just because I don't want to don't want to do this right now. Peter Boulware is on there.
I'm hurt.
And Michael McRae.
What?
Yeah. But you got to remember, too, but Ray Lewis started a year before them in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Boulware and McRae came in 97. I mean, I think Ray Lewis would be on my potential overrated Mount Rushmore.
I should have guessed.
Just saying by the numbers, too. I mean, by the numbers,
Fair enough.
Let's not do that tonight, but at another date, if we're doing the overrated Mount Rushmore, I could argue Ray.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably argue Eli to a degree. But Eli's got the ring.
I'm sorry. Eli, no matter what, is always going to be on the New York Giants for Mount Rushmore. He is the only person to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Not once, but twice. Who else has done that? Nobody.
You're right. I'm not trying to knock Eli.
He has to be in Mount Rushmore for the Giants. There's no question. You can't not put him on the Mount Rushmore. Who would you put over Eli that had a big impact to winning not 1 but 2 rings and beating the so-called GOAT?
Well, I mean, are we diving into a Giants Mount Rushmore real quick? I mean, for me, LT.
I was just about to say Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor is at the head of a Giants Mount Rushmore, probably the head of a NFL defensive player Mount Rushmore as well. I mean, I would have to deep dive a little bit more into it. Frank Gifford was really good, but he didn't beat Tom Brady twice for
you see what I'm saying?
2 rings. I mean, Phil Simms got the Giants good. I mean, if you win at that whole coaches thing, which we're not ourselves, obviously, but there's. Yeah, I get where you're going. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna fool with you right now. I'm not going to play this game. I'm not getting sucked into
He
this.
said he doesn't want to go down this dark path.
Jamal Lewis, Ray Lewis, just because of his significance, and he wasn't, just some guy they found on the street and said, "You want to play linebacker today? Hop on in the car." Ray, Jamal, Terrell Suggs. I know he's got some stuff going right now, but I mean, you could argue Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Would you really put a kicker on the Mount Rushmore over a quarterback? That's
over Lamar or Flacco?
Over Flacco, who's won a ring.
Dude, I don't know if I did or not, but I could argue Vinatieri for that New England one like we talked about. I mean, I don't think kickers should be excluded from any Mount Rushmore, but I mean, if you're talking to put a kicker on a Mount Rushmore, it's got to be somebody that is, I hate to use the term automatic, but you've got to almost. I mean, Mariano Rivera in baseball blew a save in the World Series, and that's what a lot of people remember him for. But his ERA in the World Series is under 1. I mean, he blew a save, though, and the Diamondbacks won the 0-1 World Series. But his ERA is under 1. So, I mean, if Justin Tucker missed a field goal in his life, which he has, if Adam Vinatieri's missed a field goal in his life, which he has, doesn't mean they're trash. So, I'm arguing you could put Tucker. I mean, I hate to come around to this Flacco side of it, but I mean, I could maybe, but I mean, the first 3 to me are solid. Yeah, solid. Ray, Terrell, and Jamal. Yeah. I could argue the other Ray. I mean, there could be an argument for Lamar. No.
I mean, if we're being honest, Baltimore is mainly defense and rushing game. Most noted for defense.
I'd probably put Ed Reed, to be truthful. If I had to go with that fourth, I'd put,
Oh, he was automatically on mine.
Yeah.
Let's look at one more team. Let's look at Philadelphia.
Oh, Jesus.
How did I know this was going to come up?
Well, I mean, when you think about it, because there's a lot of good players that's come through Philly.
That's true.
Look at all the talent they've had. And this is just honestly alone. Bob's sitting here laughing at me.
I thought of something in my head, but
go ahead and say it.
No, it's about the Philly Mount Rushmore, but make your point first, please. It's not bad.
There's so much talent that's been through Philly, not just drafted, but even re-signed, free agency. I can name you 2 right now. Saquon, free agent, we signed. Giants let him walk. Michael Vick, nobody wanted to touch Michael Vick after the dogfighting thing he did. But Eagles took a chance on him because of Donovan McNabb. He played backup. To me, Vick had an impact with Philly.
So I didn't know the whole topic list we were talking about, so that's why I'm kind of using my phone a little bit too. The Eagles have been around since 1933.
Yes.
That's a long time.
One of the longest franchises, if I'm not mistaken.
I got a friend, Pat Finnegan, who could argue the Eagles Mount Rushmore a little bit better than I could because he's from Philadelphia, and the Eagles are one of his big Philly teams, probably the biggest. There are people. I started laughing was I'm like, I know there are people that would say Nick Foles. I know there are people that would say Nick Foles because the Super Bowl came then. But I can argue that Randall Cunningham created more Eagles fans than anything in the 90s because Randall, A, looked different from a lot of people. B, Randall kind of invented, I don't want to say invented, but Randall was more of a running quarterback.
Pretty much.
To where other people hadn't seen that yet at that point. Not trying to get any race wars started, by the way. When I say he looked different, I mean, I know he was black and other people are white. So,
I mean, when you think about QB, you think about drop back a couple steps and fling the ball.
Yes. Dion and I have no weapons out at each other, by the way. So, I know, it's obviously, yeah. And I mean, I think you can't do an Eagles Mount Rushmore without having McNabb on.
You need McNabb on.
So to me, you have McNabb. I have Randall. I can't do an Eagles Mount Rushmore without Brian Dawkins either. So I got 3 right
You got
there.
2 out of my 3.
I got 3.
McNabb's not on my.
Well, then you should have your Eagles.
And here's why I say this: Randall Cunningham for sure.
Okay.
And then the other one you said, I can't remember.
Brian Dawkins.
Yes. Why am I drawing a blank on Dawkins? Jesus. My 3rd, you have to look at the impact he had. Saquon is, in my opinion, After what this was just 1 year, he had the biggest impact on Philly.
Saquon is buying a ticket to see Mount Rushmore at Philly right now. That is very much an incomplete, in my opinion.
Man, I'm gonna call you Ryan on this from now on, because golly, you and these first year players.
He's the only first year player that's went from another team, went to the rival team. Not only did that, but look at what he did. Look at the numbers he put up. He had a chance to break the record. He sat out. He told the players, let the young boys eat that one game where he could have made a record there. But then we set him out that last game. He could have broke the rushing record without a doubt. But his first year, he made the biggest impact because before Saquon got there, our run game wasn't a threat. They were more worried about Jalen Hurts either doing the tush push, doing a QB sneak, or throwing the ball to either Smith or A.J. Brown.
One of these days, we're gonna have to talk about
We got Saquon.
situation that they're trying to
I'm ready. I'm ready for that any day.
Let me know when you want to talk about that. That's all I got to say.
I live 2 buildings down. I can walk up right up in a matter of minutes. I can't. I get what you're saying about Saquon, and I don't mean to
But then you said it. I don't know that I could put Nick Foles there, but Nick Foles has an argument over Donovan. Because
No, he doesn't.
How?
Well, what do you want to give the punter an argument over Donovan too? Do you want to? I mean,
You got to look at what Nick did. He was they were the underdogs.
I don't.
He
care
was
if
a
we were.
backup.
Yeah,
We went
I
out
was just
and
about
got
to
a
say
bunch
it.
of water boys to suit up, and we won the Super Bowl with a
What
bunch
a
of
backup.
water boys, basically. And Nick Foles was there. Nick Foles beat the GOAT. He didn't do what Matt Ryan did with Atlanta. He didn't blow a 24-3 lead. He beat the GOAT, Tom Brady. I think if you beat the man, the GOAT, you deserve to be in consideration, if not on a Mount Rushmore.
I've got feelings on this one.
Let's do this. I like this debate right here.
Tom Brady record as a quarterback is 251 and 82.
Jesus.
So there are 82 quarterbacks out there that have arguments for Mount Rushmores of their respective franchises.
Not really, because out of those 82 losses, how many of those
You just said if you beat the GOAT.
in the Super Bowl? In the Super Bowl. Not overall, because regular season doesn't mean nothing. When you beat him in this,
Well, Saquon almost had a rushing record.
Saquon would have had that. Let's be honest. Had we not
But
benched
regular
him,
season means nothing. You just said it yourself.
but he had the biggest impact to us, though.
But I do got a question though.
Don't throw words at me, and I'll bring them back at you. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dion. Go
No,
ahead.
you're fine. Why are we talking about QB versus QB when you can literally have stats out of this world in one season and still not get a ring, and at the same time you can have the absolute worst season and get a ring somehow?
Wait a minute. Real quick on Saquon. Saquon had a better line in Philly than he did at the Giants
That's
as well.
another thing.
So let's hold
What did New York have? Nobody.
Y'all think I'm putting Nick Foles on my Rushmore? I'm not.
No, I'm thinking you're putting Saquon on the Mount Rushmore.
I'm putting Saquon because of the impact. Yes, he's my third. My fourth, y'all are probably going to disagree with me, but I don't care. This man deserves it. Jason Kelsey, the best center in the NFL. I will argue that. There's not a better center than Jason Kelsey.
I'm not disagreeing.
And he deserves to be on the Eagles' Mount Rushmore.
Paging Brian Westbrook. Paging Brian Westbrook. Paging Reggie White.
I was just about to say Reggie White. The dude literally has one of the best moves as a defensive player ever. Dude literally will throw, a rip, right?
Yep.
No, wait, not the
Swim
rip,
move.
the swim move. His swim move is literally like a right hook. He will throw you up out of his way just to get to your quarterback.
I know I bring up the Immaculate Grid a lot, the trivia game, but my daughter says that there are little men running around my head. And when I don't get 9 out of 9, the little men bumped into each other and threw paper. One of my little men actually jumped into Dion's head. So I know who Dion's going to say before I say this thing with Reggie White. And Dion's like, I'm just about to say him. I already knew Dion was going to say him because one of my little men jumped over in Dion's brain. Reggie White's got to be up there. Brian Westbrook's got to be up there.
Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy, I think you have to think about. I mean, then we can go backwards into the days of Ron Jaworski, stuff like this. But I don't put Nick Foles on that Mount Rushmore. I mean, you're putting a center over there. You won't put a kicker in, but you put a center in. I mean, I could even argue John Runyon was with Philly for a long time as an offensive lineman. I mean, there are guys that I could bring up. Still am upset about this Tom Brady comment that if you beat a GOAT in the Super Bowl, you get consideration for a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Have to be.
Dude.
And there's the only reason I say this is because the Super Bowl is what everybody's goal to is in the NFL. Their goal is to get there and win the Super Bowl because you want to be the world champs, as they call it. That's what it's called. So getting there, that's great. Have you won it? Nick Foles got there, won it with a bunch of nobodies, but he had to beat the best player in the NFL. He had to beat the best team, the best coach, one of the greatest coaches of all time, Bill Belichick.
No, if we're being honest, if we're talking about beating the GOAT, are we talking about the QB beating the GOAT, or are we talking about the defense that beat the GOAT?
Ooh.
We're talking about the QB because if you look at the stats, Nick Foles had better stats that game over Tom Brady. Nick Foles also, not to mention, not only had 2 passing touchdowns, but had a receiving touchdown.
You're making this worse and worse for yourself. Because Tom Brady, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm
good.
I'll either jump on your back or you can jump on mine. We're gonna get him here. If you're arguing if you had better stats than Tom Brady, that can make you a GOAT. Well, I guarantee you, Tom Brady started about 300 games as quarterback. I guarantee you, Tom Brady did not have better stats than the other team's quarterback 200 times. I will almost promise you that. Now, the year he had Randy Moss and everybody, his stats were jamming. I mean, what are better stats, too? I mean, are we just talking yards? Are we talking efficiency? Are we talking touchdowns? I mean, I'll deep dive this at some point.
Touchdowns and yards,
a lot of numbers. You got to realize that. You can literally have a stat for when you don't wear a wristband.
True. I just think we need to get Nick Foles off this Mount Rushmore. If we're talking about games that, I'm watching basketball in the corner of my eye, how they do the one shining moment. If we're going to do one shining moment for football and give everybody a Mount Rushmore for the, one individual performance, maybe I'll come around to putting Nick Foles on it. I'm not putting Nick Foles on it for the Philly Mount Rushmore when I have named 10 players that should go on that Mount Rushmore. Maybe 10. I don't know. Don't count them all. But yeah, I mean, but we definitely have 3. We definitely, in my opinion, McNabb is over Nick Foles 10 times out of 10 on that Mount Rushmore.
Nick Foles did his thing, I'm definitely putting McNabb on.
Did McNabb win a ring?
Sure, but you got to realize.
Now we're into a whole different argument.
We all got to realize something, listeners included. It is hard to win a ring unless you got all 11 guys from defense, offense, special teams to win a ring, including your coaches, from your head coach to your coordinators.
I'll take it one further. Take the ring out of the equation. McNabb was the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all saying he deserves to be on that Mount Rushmore. Look at who played with him. Out of all the people he played with, and I'm talking receivers, running backs, is one of those players a bigger, impactful player than Donovan McNabb was? And if your answer is yes, that person should be over Donovan McNabb.
T.O. is not going on the Mount Rushmore for Philadelphia.
No, not with Philly, no.
I agree with you.
But there was some other ones.
But,
Who?
Did he
Who's
have
your name?
McCoy? You named him?
Wait a minute. What's the question? Is McCoy better than McNabb in Philly? Okay, I'm sorry. I zoned out.
Look at who Donovan McNabb had when he played. Let's name a few players.
Brian Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm supposed to name all these players?
I'm letting you name them.
I mean,
and I'm talking big names that had an impact.
Well, T.O., if we want to go with that, I mean, I know I'm forgetting people.
Didn't he have Deshaun Jackson? Because Vic had
Yeah, but I mean, I think we need to slow the roll down a little bit. Deshaun Jackson is not going on Philly Mount Rushmore or anybody else.
I'm not saying he was, but he was an impactful player.
Well, okay, continue on. I'm just getting more and more mad right now.
But y'all are saying Donovan McNabb. Michael Vick should be in that conversation over McNabb.
No, he shouldn't. Why should Michael? Keep this in mind. We're only talking about Philly. So I'm not going to Michael Vick's Atlanta career.
I think Michael Vick's career was better in Philly coming out of the jail compared to his Atlanta career. Michael Vick, to me...
Be honest, my face turning red yet. Because I'm just getting more and more incensed by the moment.
A little pink.
And I am not an Eagles fan, by the way. I have
Same
no true dog in this fight, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm keeping this Mount Rushmore also a little bit current, so we don't go into people like where everybody's saying who. So, I mean, we could do that, obviously. But
when it comes to the birds, I'll fly with you, but at the same time, I'm gonna have to let you know. I don't know about that argument with Nick Foles over Donovan. Sure, Nick Foles got the ring and he beat.
I wish Michael and Bango was here for this podcast. I swear, I hope they listen to. If they haven't heard the whole thing, just listen to the snippet about the Eagles.
why is Michael Vick over Donovan McNabb? I'm curious as to your opinion on this.
He had a bigger impact than McNabb.
Why? Like how so?
To me, he had the better yard. He had more yardage than McNabb. He could run the ball by himself.
Whoa. Let's rewind real quick. He had more yards than McNabb. What do you mean?
Passing.
Like for his Eagles career,
Yes,
or
for his Eagles career.
You really want to go with that? You sure?
It can't be that. There's no way McNabb had more.
Donovan McNabb was there for 20 years.
Oh, tenure, longevity.
But he didn't start all 20 years.
Donovan McNabb is 92-49 in his Eagles career. Donovan McNabb, I'll bet you started a lot of those games. Let me pull up Donovan real quick. Okay, so Donovan, 99-11. I'm not going to go each year. In 05, Donovan only played 9. I think that's when he got hurt. In 11, well, no, wait, I'm sorry. Let me back up. 99-09 is Donovan's Philly career.
Okay.
In 99, he started 6 games. That's his rookie year. In 05, he started 9 games. Every other year, he started at least 10. In 02 and 06, he started 10 each. So obviously, yeah, somebody else started the other 6. Maybe Vic in 06.
I want to say Vic went there.
Well, no, Vic did not. Jeff Garcia started the other 6 in 06. All right, keep in mind this number for me. Vic was in Philly from 09 to 13.
Okay, that makes it easy.
So Donovan was gone. Donovan was gone in 10 and 11. Donovan was gone after 09. So in 10 and 11, Donovan was in Washington for one of those years and played in Minnesota for the other year. Only played 6.
Well, Washington was a place where people went to die.
Okay, but now we're getting even.
Wait a minute now.
Go for it.
That's another episode. That's another side.
Whole different episode.
Please invite me back for that one.
Go ahead and
We
hit
will.
my line.
We can just go ahead. Once we finish recording this episode, we can just go into another
Y'all can
one.
talk all about music and everything you want when I'm not here. On the sports ones, please bring me in.
Exactly.
See,
I love this.
I don't understand this Michael Vick over Donovan McNabb thing. And this I will give out my Twitter, and you bring all of it at me. These sports buffet on that one.
I just think Vic is a better impactful player for Philly over Donovan, and Vic should be in consideration for the Mount Rushmore.
I can't come around to this. I mean, you could load me up with liquor, and I could not come around to this argument.
I'm on name. There's one play that Vic is famous for in Philly. Does anybody know what it was? Because I know it right now without even seeing the video.
You're the Philly fan, so go ahead.
Washington, Monday night, play action, rollout. He's at the end zone. He throws a bomb to the opposite end zone to Deshaun Jackson. He literally went from his end zone that he was pinned at to about the 20-yard line of the Redskins for a touchdown.
Okay, so we've named one play. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you.
And now that I think about it, are we really going to decide off of one play?
No, we're not. Donovan McNabb's on the Philly Mount Rushmore at the end.
Sorry, man. I mean, like I said, it's all based off of opinion on how we feel individually on these teams. Now, I'm going to keep it a bean. I like Vic and Philly, but I'm going with Donovan. I'm sorry. I got to do it.
I don't even know if I put Vic on the Mount Rushmore if we had it constricted to quarterbacks in Philly.
Oh, now you woo.
Well, okay. McNabb.
Okay.
Nick Foles.
Jaworski are my top 2. Ron Jaworski. And then Randall. That's my top 3. So we've got one spot left.
Randall and McNabb, yes. I think you have to look. You would have to consider Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts has to be considered.
Even more so then.
Then you also have to include Nick Foles.
Okay.
And then Vic has to be in that conversation. But the main three, you got to go with Jalen and Nick for sure.
Is Jaworski in the conversation? Took him to a Super Bowl.
But he didn't win.
Neither did Vic.
But that's the argument. That's why I say they get their honorable mentions, in my opinion. You got there, but you didn't win. So you made it to the big game, but you failed at the finish line. You didn't cross that finish line for that parade.
Well, with Vic, you didn't even get to see the finish line.
We got as far as, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the NFC Championship.
I
think. I could be wrong.
I will stick to my Vic is not on that Philly Mount Rushmore. Not even close.
That's debatable. I guess it's hard to not include him.
No, it's really easy to not include him. Actually,
if
we're going off the Atlanta Mount Rushmore, I will
definitely
bring you to.
Well, who does Atlanta have besides Vic and Matt Ryan, quarterback wise?
Well, I didn't think we were doing quarterbacks only.
Well, I mean, if you don't include quarterbacks, besides Vic and Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. That's 3.
Work done.
That's 4. There's nobody else besides those 4.
I would argue that, but Dion. And I'm even bringing it into your name values. I'm not going like Steve Bartkowski, who is really good, by the way, in the 80s. But you got Burner Turner, Michael Turner. That Michael Turner is the same argument that you have for Michael Vick in terms of he was impactful while he was there.
Yeah. I don't know. We could go back and forth on the whole Philly with Vic and Donovan. I think there may be some people that disagree with me completely, like you two, who think Vic don't belong there.
Everybody will think that.
Does he belong, though? Do you want to put him on there? That's totally up to you.
I don't think you can't put him on there. I don't know. It's tough not to.
You must really hate Carson Wentz, too.
Golly, do you want to put him on there?
Carson Wentz, I don't know. See, I kind of wish Ross was here too, Ross or Michael, because they're both Philly fans too. So Ross especially has more knowledge.
What are you getting us into a gang fight or something?
No, but Ross has more.
Non-Philly fans on one side of the room, Philly fans on the other side.
Ross has a little bit more knowledge because he is older, just like yourself. And I mean that in the most respectful way.
I'm not offended at all.
But he has more knowledge because y'all grew up with those teams before. So y'all know a little bit more. Y'all seen a little bit more. When we were growing up, Vic was the stuff. Donovan McNabb was at the tail end of his career, basically.
We cannot put Vic over Donovan McNabb. Okay, fine. I'll take Ron Jaworski off this thing. I'll bring it into since you have been alive. Because I know you've been alive since McNabb played. So since you have been alive, McNabb 100% is on that Mount Rushmore over Vic, in my opinion. I don't even think it's debatable.
But you're also putting Donovan McNabb, who hasn't won a Super Bowl with Philly, over Nick Foles and Jalen Hurts.
I'm sorry, say again?
You're putting Donovan McNabb over Jalen and Nick Foles.
Yes, I am.
Both of which have won a ring. Donovan didn't.
I think it's time for me and you to go back into the NFL films and start turning open that darn vault and start watching. Jesus.
Well, no. There's no need to go vaulting at any point right here. But, and I'm not going to pull you into you're agreeing with me, Dion, but Dion's going to agree with me on this one. We just said that it's not one person's responsibility to win the ring. And you can't just put it all on the onus of a quarterback. If you're putting rings in this, then Dan Marino is absolutely hot garbage. And that is...
Always said that. And everybody thought I was crazy.
Yeah, well, then people are going to think you're crazy for Vic, so there's fun. So, no arguments on this one.
So we sit here and take the rings out of the equation, but people use that argument when you debate Jordan and Braun. Everybody uses the ring argument.
That's different.
But I'm just saying.
Jordan versus LeBron and Nick Foles versus McNabb is totally different.
But y'all put the ring conversation into it. Jordan went 6-0. Well, guess what? Nick Foles is 1-0 against Tom Brady on top of that.
I'm going to go ahead and say
Donovan McNabb is 0-2. He not only went to 1, but I'm pretty sure he went to 2 Super Bowls and lost both of them.
I'm going to go ahead and say this, Bob?
Please.
You are definitely on the next episode because the next episode, sports related, we are going to talk about this whole GOAT debate because y'all killing me already. You, Bob, respectfully, Stephen A, I'm calling him out too, even though he don't know who I am, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Dude, I'm sorry. You can't look.
I don't need to yell and scream though to make my point, like some people do. Stephen A.
Look, I'm sorry. Sure. Look, I understand where you're getting at with the whole. Hey, Nick Foles won a ring. Jalen Hurts won a ring. But you need more than just winning that ring, whether you a backup or a 2 to 3 year player.
The Jordan LeBron thing, the rings is just a supportive argument. I mean, Jordan and LeBron are definitely on the GOAT list. Nick Foles is not on the Eagles Mount Rushmore list. If a ring gets you on the Eagles Mount Rushmore list, then Donovan's got to go. Reggie White's got to go. Everybody's got to go. Vic's got to go. Yeah, Vic's got to go. I mean, we can keep Jason Kelsey on there, I guess. And we can also look at, maybe the
I don't think you can't not put
right
Jason
defensive
Kelsey
end.
no matter what.
Okay, well, I'm not arguing Jason Kelsey, but I'm arguing Nick Foles till I'm blue in the face.
It's just hard to knock what Nick did because he wasn't even our starter. Carson Wentz was our starter that year. Carson went down. Nick came in and basically took a team of nobodies because we were hurt with injuries across the board.
Would you keep Tom Brady on the Patriots Mount Rushmore if Drew Bledsoe had come back and started the next year and played every game, and Tom Brady just had that one Super Bowl in New England?
Yes.
I cannot reason with you.
Oh my God.
And the reason I say that is because look at the impact he had with that one Super Bowl that Tom Brady won. Had Bledsoe came back, like you said. Tom Brady was very impactful, which proved that not only was he the GOAT, like the best quarterback then, he was a backup. And if he would have been able to come back, like Bledsoe comes back, and then Tom Brady takes over New England, and he probably still wins just as many rings.
I tuned out. Sorry.
Ouch.
I'm still thinking about.
Ice for that one?
I'm still thinking about Michael Vick and Diamond McNabb. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can come back.
This man's brain. Golly almighty.
All right, well, on this note, we're going to wrap up this part of the episode. We just want to thank you guys for listening in to us. Once again, we want to thank Bob Alvis for being here. If you guys are interested, his Twitter page is at the Sports Buffet.
Just the Sports Buffet, yeah.
So if you guys are interested, just give him a follow. Let us know what you think about the episode. Like we said, if you're interested in being on it, let one of us know. We'll gladly have you on here to speak with us. Thank you guys, and we look forward to the next episode with you guys. Have a good one.
Peace.